All right, so today we're here at Forgotten Fruits again to show you our somewhat ingenious idea we thought about as a really inexpensive way of creating a greenhouse. So it occurred to me one day, I had this moment of brilliance, which rarely happens, and I realized all these people in Michigan here, there's a lot of people growing cannabis these days because it's been legal here for a while, and there's tons of waste. I recently learned that people use these pots one time and then throw them away. They go into landfills, blocking up landfills. It's not environmentally friendly. So it occurred to me this could be quite useful to us. So I know somebody who knows somebody who's in the business. Long story short, I got connected with one of these growers, and he was more than happy to give them to me for free. So I get a bunch of these pots that are fabric pots. These ones are 25 gallons, and they're full of cocoa, ground up coconut shells, and perlite, which is a really nice mix for starting our cuttings. It's really nice and porous. It retains moisture but doesn't allow root rot. It has a lot of great drainage. So all we had to do is we have to take out the root ball out of the center, but it's really minimal work. So these things are essentially free to me. It takes me probably half an hour to go pick them up, bring them back to the farm, and it's well worth it because every time I go I get 35 of them. So there's basically almost $0 invested in this, a little bit of time. I bought a large box of these clear plastic garbage bags. This will help us make the cheapest greenhouse you'll ever find. These things could probably cost me 10 cents or less a piece. And then the tomato cages are, $2 or $3 a piece, depending where you get them. On Marketplace, you can often find them inexpensive. I happen to have a bunch that someone gave me, so it didn't cost me anything. But even if they cost you $3 a piece, you'll have $3 into a tomato cage that you can still use on your tomatoes once we're ready to plant tomatoes. 10, 20 cents for the bag, and the pots are free. So, I mean, this is the cheapest greenhouse you'll ever find. They work beautifully. And then once we're done with them, in a couple months, when it gets warm enough out here in Michigan, I will take the garbage bags off and still use those as garbage bags, because the only thing that's wrong with them is this tiny hole way at the top that does not affect their proper functioning as a garbage bag. I will use the tomato cages in my garden to support my tomatoes and other veggies. And then the pots are also reusable. We will pull all of the soil out of them and I'll empty them out. If they're still in good shape, I will keep them to reuse them. Occasionally, I'll have to cut one open if I can't get the root ball out of there, which, is, at that point, it'll be the end of that pot's life, but at least it will have served a purpose for more than one growing operation. So this is like a genius gardening life hack here that I was super excited to share with you. The other thing we do is sometimes we'll put holes around the bottom if we notice there's some mold growth happening. But with the tops open like this, it's been much less of a problem. You just have to be careful about not overwatering them, but striking that nice balance of keeping them nice and moist without having remaining water in the bottom. If you do get that, you can just pop a hole in the bottom of the bag to let that drain out. But it's a little bit of a balance to be had there. But this is just a brilliant idea that we have been using here at Forgotten Fruits for the last couple of years and wanted to share it with you. Today we're going to be planting some more of our elderberry cuttings. As you can see over here, we've already planted, I can't remember how many actually, 500 I believe. We have 25 per pot, and we're going to wrap up the last 200. We have 200 cuttings we took back in January, mid-January, when they were still dormant. And we wrapped them up tightly, kept them refrigerated, and you'll see in a minute that they're already budding out inside the refrigerator here, so they're ready to be planted. It's just the only thing is they still have the leftover stalk from the cannabis plant. So I'm gonna use my favorite shovel, the root slayer, and we use it to cut out the center part because it has these ridges on it for cutting. It works perfectly to cut out the root ball, the core of the root ball at least. We'll leave the peripheral roots in there, but let's go around in a circle. cut out the core, pop it up, and then remove as much of the cocoa and perlite from it as we can, so we don't waste it. Yeah, the guy I get this from grows organically, so I've verified that he does not use any chemicals or chemical fertilizers or pesticides, which I would not want in my plants. So it's a good use, reuse, recycle these materials that would have gone in landfills if I didn't use them. So we remove the root ball. I kind of loosen up the top soil because there'll be these small, fine roots in here. Get rid of any big clumps of roots we see. Get it nice and kind of pack it down so that when we put the cuttings in, they'll be held in firmly and won't fall over. All right, so you can see we've clearly labeled them. We have elderberries that were harvested on January 11th of this year. We might have overdone it slightly, but we want to make sure they didn't lose any moisture and dry out over the winter while they were in the refrigerator. And we did a good job. Possible overkill. These babies are looking beautiful. They are just eager to be planted and to start growing like crazy. Let's see. Oh geez, I guess we really did overkill this. We were worried that they would dry out. Note to self, there's less plastic next year. But you can see, if you get right in here and look, all these buds forming. There's 50 elderberries in this group. And you can see all these little nodes down here. These are where the roots are wanting to start forming. All these little bumps that were on the bark turn into roots if they are given adequate moisture and so on. So you can see they are ready to roll. So we're gonna plant these babies out. In my experience, we've determined that 25 is the best number to put in one of these 25-gallon pots. When we're planting them, we just want to shove them into the dirt. We want to make sure at least one node is underground. That will turn into root system. And I put it down a ways, you can see, just for stability purposes primarily. But these nodes will turn into roots, but also these small bumps will, as I mentioned before. So I just kind of put them, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 inches, 1.5 or so apart. I start doing it in a grid pattern and just kind of work my way out, and it ends up being about 25 in one of these pots. Pack the dirt down around it a bit, just so we get a nice contact with the soil. Then once I'm done, we will water them well. All right, so now we have our 25 elderberries in here. I found that it's easiest to first put the garbage bag on there, then water it, and then wrap it all up. So we have I bought these in bulk, a big box full of these semi-transparent garbage bags. This is the cheapest greenhouse ever. Just take these babies. It's obviously slightly easier if you have two people, but if you just have one, you just work it up under there. It's going to give us a nice humidity dome slash miniature greenhouse here. There we go. Looks pretty good. Fold that down. Water these babies in good. And then we'll put our tomato cage on it. Oops. Put our tomato cage on it to help keep the garbage bag off of the plants themselves. You can see this cocoa is really has nice drainage on it, which is one of the nice things about it. It won't allow the roots to rot. It allows for a really nice root formation. We did this last year, and I have a video maybe I'll include here of the root systems of those plants. They were just unbelievably strong and beautiful. So now we're just gonna take our old tomato cage, put it on here. The nice thing about this is we can still use these for tomatoes, because by the time we're ready to do our tomatoes, we won't need them here. I put it all the way down to the bottom so it's nice and sturdy. The size of the tomato cages we have, the bags will go up to the second rung here. Basically all I do is pull the plastic up here, tighten it up as much as possible. Get nice and taut. And tie her up. All right, and then once we have it tied up, you can see there's a bit of an opening here, but which is not bad. I kind of like it. It allows it to breathe a little bit so we don't get mold growth or anything bizarre happening inside there. What I do like to do is these areas right here will catch rainwater and it'll pool there. So I just poke a couple holes in it. It helps allow the water to get in to water the plants. And then we're all set. And then I just take my watering can in the future, keep an eye on it every day. I'll take a look at it, but it's a little bit of a pain, but you can still get it in there nice and water around properly. Just have to move around the spokes of the tomato cage, but it works quite well. All right, thanks for joining us today. If you have any other ideas to help us improve our little hack here of these mini greenhouses, drop it down in the comments. Or if you have any other ideas for making miniature greenhouses a different way, let us know. We like to share ideas here and help everyone do this in a more sustainable and cost-effective manner. If you like what we're doing here at Forgotten Fruits, subscribe to our channel and we'll see you soon.